The obesity rate in USA is currently a little over 42% in adults, and it's projected to get to 50% within the next 10 years. I think that is insane. Also, USA is number one country when it comes to the number of fast food restaurants, and also number one country when it comes to number of food chain restaurants, compared to Germany, which is at number 8. Last week, we traveled back from Munich to California, and we will be staying here for the next 2 months to get some things done for our business. And by the way, we flew Lufthansa, which is my favorite airline. It has been for years. I will do a separate vlog for that, traveling during pandemic. There were 38 passengers on our flight. But the point is that we flew back and we got home pretty late. The next morning we woke up, went to the grocery store to buy some groceries, and I had a what the moment, because I think it was reverse culture shock. There were just so much choice when it comes to food, and there was so much bad food available for consumers. This is what happened. This is a fabulous Albertsons. Look at the amount of ingredients. This is crazy. And then most people don't realize, they think they're eating peanut butter, but they're actually eating all this shit. Hi guys, welcome back to STEPHAN. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so and help our channel grow. Today's video idea came from that moment when we went into the grocery store to buy groceries after we arrived in California. And today I wanted to point out the differences that I see between food consumption culture from Germany to USA. This is a fairly large topic to discuss, So I will try to keep it as concise as possible. And this is all based on my experience of growing up in California and now living in Germany, and how I see the two cultures respect food, and then how the food industry is also different. The first point that I see, which is a huge difference between USA and Germany, is the availability of food when it comes to supermarkets and grocery stores. So in USA, supermarkets are very popular. Just within our area, which is Palm Springs, and I compare Palm Springs to Landshut, that I think is a fair comparison when it comes to the size of the city as far as population. In Palm Springs, we currently have 8 supermarkets, whereas in Landshut, there's only one supermarket that I know of. And the example that I showed you earlier, that was one of the supermarkets. And imagine that times 8. So you have so much available to you as a consumer. And there's so much bad food that I think the consumer becomes a little numb when they're trying to choose what's the best food for me. And also, when you see huge differences between prices, and taking into consideration that there is a large number of people that are living from paycheck to paycheck in USA, of course they're going to reach out for the less expensive and perhaps not care so much about the ingredients that are in that prepackaged food. This also leads to a cultural aspect that is a difference between Germany and USA. In Germany, there are many small grocery stores such as Aldi, Rewe, Lidl, Penny, Netto, and these you can find in nearly every city and also in some townships as well. And in USA, it's predominantly large supermarkets with huge amounts of food available to consumers. We do have smaller grocery stores. We have Trader Joe's, which would be comparable to Aldi, but has a little bit more of a specialty items, but it is a little bit more on the expensive side, so it is not really a viable option for a lot of people. Then we also now have Aldi in the West Coast, but these are the only 2 small grocery store options that we have in California that I know of. The next point that I see that is a big difference between Germany and USA is eating habits and diet. Let's take breakfast for instance. In Germany, a typical Bavarian breakfast, I'm saying Bavarian because I'm not sure if this is true to all over Germany, but a typical Bavarian breakfast, everyday breakfast, would be good quality bread. And I cannot say this enough, how Germany has literally the best bread in the world. So you have good bread with either, you can have it with cold cuts, cheese, butter, or marmalade. And that is your typical Bavarian breakfast. Not a lot, I haven't seen a lot of people even have eggs in the morning, but I do know some people that do have eggs in the morning. In USA, the typical breakfast, and this is also true to when I was growing up, and it still holds true, is breakfast cereal. And that is probably the worst thing you can eat. So you have breakfast cereal, and if it's not breakfast cereal, then you have prepackaged breakfast. If it's not prepackaged breakfast, then a lot of people drink shakes on their way to work in the car. And if it's not that, if people are working from home now, then people make fried eggs, bacon, avocado toast. And avocado toast is generally healthy, but if you have that every single day, those calories do add up. And if you go out for breakfast, you have pancakes, waffles, chicken and waffles, grits. It's just mind-blowing to me that just the breakfast alone is so different from Germany to USA. And if I were to give it a word, I would say German breakfast is fairly minimal compared to what it is in USA. Now, when it comes to lunch, that is also a huge difference. In USA, a typical lunch for a average working American would be heading to a fast food place and getting a burger or a hot dog or a chicken sandwich. And anything that comes out of a fast food joint in USA is not of a good quality, is mass produced and has no nutritional value. Whereas in Germany, there are fast food places, and I think people do go to these places, but not as often as they do in USA. Also, the most popular fast food place in Germany is called Nordsee. And compare Nordsee to McDonald's, Nordsee is far more healthier choice than it would be going to a McDonald's or Burger King. The other huge difference that I see between Germany and USA is in Germany, there are a lot of cafes available in nearly every city. So you can walk into these cafes and they have a lot of fresh sandwiches made. And compared to a hamburger from McDonald's or Burger King, it is a far healthier choice. So the people in Germany generally have a lot more healthier choices to choose from than they do in USA, because in USA, unless you're in a huge metropolitan area such as New York City, then you do not have access to these cafes. In Palm Springs, I believe we have just a handful of cafes, and a lot of other cities or suburbs, you will not find cafes at all. These habits then also lead into the diet culture. In USA, as far as I can remember, people have always been on a diet. My mom growing up was always on a diet, one diet to the next, to the next, to the next, and so were all of her friends. And most of my friends now here in California are typically always on a diet as well. There have been so many diets that have come and gone, and some have stayed. In California, we had the Atkins diet, we had the gluten-free, grain-free, fat-free, low-fat, and right now, one of the more popular ones is a keto diet. So all these fad diets come and they go, some stay. We also had a really funny one. It was the Hollywood cookie diet. I thought that was like the most ridiculous diet ever. But the difference that I see between Germany and USA is I have not heard any of my friends yet, to be on a diet or a specific diet. If they're on a diet, then they're basically watching what they're eating as far as making healthier choices. But I honestly don't know anyone in Germany within my circle of friends that is on any of these fad diets. The last point that I wanted to discuss was normalizing obesity and normalizing being overweight. I feel that in the past few years, normalizing obesity and normalizing being overweight has become part of the culture in USA. And fundamentally, I feel there's so much wrong with this approach. It is okay to be whatever size you are. It really doesn't matter if you're skinny or if you're bigger. All of that doesn't matter. But what matters is being healthy. And I think normalizing being healthy is what America needs right now, not normalizing that you could be whatever weight that you are, and that doesn't matter. You are beautiful as you are. If you're unhealthy and you are living with diseases, how is that beautiful to that person? Isn't beauty inside first, right? And then it's outside. So how you are on the outside is secondary anyways. Nutrition plays a huge role in that as well, is being healthy, being disease-free, and taking care of yourself. And then you are obviously beautiful because you feel healthy and you feel good and you feel sexy. And that's the difference that I see in Germany. In Germany, I don't see that people normalize being obese or overweight. They look at things completely differently. In Germany, I don't really hear people talking about the weight as far as a number, but they generally talk about, I want to become a bit healthier. I need to watch what I eat because I've gained some weight. But in USA, it's always about a number. I need to lose 10 pounds or 5 pounds or 2 pounds, or I need to fit into this dress at any cost. So that's why those fad diets come into play, because they want a quick fix. Whereas in Germany, it's about being healthy. And in USA, I feel it's about a quick fix. So please let me know your thoughts on these in the comments below. And if I've said anything incorrectly, let me know. And if I've said anything to offend anyone, that is not the point and that was not my intent, so I apologize for that. But I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.